lost so many of our people that day. We lost them, we mourn them, we miss them. And we are here to remember them, aren't we?
20 years ago today, under a clear blue Tuesday sky, America was attacked and our world was forever changed. America united that day as one country, stronger together. Today, America unites again to remember the lives lost, the tragic events of that day, and to remind everyone we will never forget. This is a special edition of the KOAM News at 6. A number of memorials took place across the country and right here in the 4 states. We begin in Ottawa County, where Ottawa County firefighters gathered at NEO early this morning to honor the 343 first responders who lost their lives 20 years ago today. First responders, as well as others wanting to take part, simulated a stair climb similar to what rescue teams went through with recovery efforts.
With the stair climb, we try to simulate what was done that day, the 2,071 steps that were in the Twin Towers. And we just try to take it as a remembrance for the 343 firefighters that were lost. Our brothers that day made an ultimate sacrifice, and we just try to honor them.
To simulate the 2,071 steps, participants went up and down the steps of Red Robertson Field 31 times, taking turns wearing heavy gear and carrying the flag. This morning, firefighters in Parsons honored the first responders who lost their lives on 9/11 as well, and they did it by climbing the stairs of the Belmont Tower, which symbolized the heroic efforts made by firefighters who were still working to save as many lives as they could when the towers of the World Trade Center came toppling down. As they made their climb, the Belmont Tower walls were plastered with photos of the 343 firefighters who lost their lives that day. The climb was exhausting, but plenty of firefighters got that extra push to complete the mission, seeing the photos of their fallen comrades.
Thought it was a great experience, and even people who did it very easily, it builds character for them, gives them kind of mentality to not give up.
The firefighters climbed the tower 7 floors 15 times and then did one final trip to the 5th floor. That represented the 110 floors of the World Trade Center. Pittsburgh State University held their own 9/11 tribute this morning at Carney Smith Stadium. Cadets took turns reading the names of the 2,977 killed in the attacks, including an additional 65 who died from injuries. They also fired a cannon 4 times, one for each plane that crashed.
We're going to fire the cannon to memorialize the when the towers were hit, and also the Pentagon getting hit, and then the crash of Flight 93 that the passengers so courageously took down to prevent more loss of life.
The Lieutenant Colonel says they take part in this every year to educate those on Pitt State's campus who may be too young to remember 9/11. Charlie 22 Outdoors, a veteran ministry with a mission to spread their word through the outdoors, hosted an event to remember 9/11. The day started with a ceremony honoring those lost, as well as a prayer and honoring the times that the planes crashed. Many veterans came out to their event as well to commemorate 20 years since America was attacked.
So we decided a year ago to make this a special day to honor those this morning that were lost that day, and to celebrate those this afternoon that answered the call, first responders and military both.
It's a day of our American history, and nobody needs to forget this day. This day should be not so much of a holiday like the 4th of July, but a day that we set aside to remember those that gave their lives.
Many veterans, a part of Charlie 22 Outdoors, said their anxiety was raised following events in Kabul, which is why the organization wanted to ensure they were shown appreciation at the event. And across the country, Americans are paused to remember the nearly 3,000 lives lost on September 11th. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
On the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, there were moments of silence and remembrance.
My cousin, Brian Christopher.
I know that you're watching over us.
Bells tolled at the exact times tragedy struck on that sunny Tuesday morning 2 decades ago, when 2 planes flew into the Twin Towers and brought them down, when another jet hit the Pentagon, and when Flight 93 crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Here at the site where the Twin Towers once stood, family members and loved ones honored the nearly 3,000 people who died in the attacks that changed the course of American history.
I remember this day as if it was yesterday.
The thing I remember the most about you is your smile.
Dad, we miss you every day. Our greatest gifts are your beautiful grandchildren.
Former Presidents Obama and Clinton joined President Biden at the memorial in Lower Manhattan. In Shanksville, the President and First Lady laid a wreath where the passengers and crew of Flight 93 fought back against the hijackers. Former President George W. Bush spoke at the ceremony.
These Americans were brave, strong, and united in ways that shocked the terrorists, but should not surprise any of us. This is the nation we know.
At sunrise, a flag unfurled at the Pentagon, and President Biden made it his last stop of the day. Taps sounded there and closed out the ceremony at Ground Zero. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
An Afton man is dead following a crash in Ottawa County. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a car driven by 21-year-old Devin Wilson was heading northbound on County Road 550 when it hit loose gravel on a curve, left the roadway, and struck a tree. Wilson was pronounced dead on the scene. And a beautiful day for a number of those events out there today. Nick Kelly joining us.
Yeah, nothing but quiet skies from start to finish, Chris. In fact, let me back up and take you outside the 7th range line. The upper level winds brought in a little bit of haze from the smoke of the wildfires out west, but other than that, we've kept the skies quiet all day. We still don't have anything on the radar network, with mostly sunny skies still locked in as we continue through the rest of our Saturday evening. As far as temperatures go, we did hit the mid-90s a couple hours ago, but now we're backing down to the upper 80s to lower 90s all across the region. But all because of that south wind that we've seen throughout the day, gusting to 15 to 25 miles per hour and even up to 30 miles per hour at times. The breeze is going to lighten up just a little bit tonight. That's going to allow temperatures to get near 83 by 8, 78 by midnight. And eventually, Chris, will have overnight lows dropping back near 71 across most spots. We'll see how temperatures look for the week ahead and when the next chance for rain will be here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Corporal Michael Worthy served with the Marines in Iraq, where he received several commendations and medals. His hometown, Treese, Kansas. And we're proud to recognize Corporal Michael Worthy, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, to learn more about other heroes or to nominate one of your own at any time, just head over to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Still ahead on the KOAM News at 6, Burger King is making some adjustments to its menu, plus a new study from the CDC on unvaccinated people. Get ready to see some new items on the menu at Burger King. The chain says it's getting rid of 120 artificial ingredients to serve what it is calling Keep It Real meals. Burger King says the change is permanent and is an effort to deliver, quote, real food to customers. The company says about 90% of the Keep It Real meals will be free of colors, flavors, and preservatives from artificial sources. Some celebrities are collaborating with Burger King to get the word out with the special selections. That includes rapper Nelly, whose real name will be used for the Cornell Haynes Jr. meal. The new menu is set to debut tomorrow. A new study from the CDC shows unvaccinated people are 11 times more likely to die from COVID-19. And they're 10 times more likely to be hospitalized than people who've gotten the shots. The study also shows unvaccinated people are more likely to get infected in the first place. The research looks at 600,000 cases from April into July. More than 75 million Americans eligible to be vaccinated aren't. Recommendations for kids as flu season approaches, and another reason to exercise. Elise Preston has some of the week's top health stories.
The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends all children 6 months and older get vaccinated for flu this fall. In previous years, about 80% of children who died from the flu had not received the vaccine. The AAP says the flu vaccine is especially important during the COVID pandemic. Exercising during pregnancy may be good for both mothers and their babies. A study in Norway tracked more than 800 babies and found offspring of physically inactive mothers were more likely to have lower lung function. Those children are then at a higher risk for asthma by the age of 10. And researchers at NYU Langone Health have identified certain autoimmune antibodies that are linked to how people fare when hospitalized with COVID-19. They found patients with elevated levels of the antibodies were up to 7 times more likely to develop severe disease. The research could help doctors monitor patients at greater risk of COVID complications. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Well, a little later, Danny Terzer is going to join us with the latest as Pitt State heads into their home opener night.
But first, we'll break down a couple more hot days ahead of us and eventually some rain chances working in. Forecast up next. Nothing but clear skies as far as I could see throughout the course of the day. That allowed temperatures to heat up once again after we had a bit of a mild start this morning. Remember yesterday we topped out around 93, 94 degrees. We only dropped back to about 73 degrees this morning and an easy jump back to 95 so far this afternoon at Joplin Regional. As far as where we go from here, though, I'm keeping us mainly dry and mainly hot tomorrow through Tuesday, although you could technically argue we'll be back in the upper 80s ahead of our next front, with rain chances looking still likely as we head into Wednesday. Once we get that front out of the way, we will have warm temperatures from Wednesday and carrying us into next weekend. And so that is something at least to look forward to. Rain chances that some of you could use and a chance to get us out of the 90s for the most part. 7th range line, we are looking south and west, looking at a hazy sunny sky. 91 in Joplin, a south breeze at 20, gusting to 26. Is certainly making for a blustery evening, but at least dew points are hanging around 60, so it doesn't feel muggy outside. That's certainly a good thing. Upper 80s to lower 90s all across the board, and easy to see why, not to mention with the mostly clear skies in place. We had a good south breeze throughout the day, 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts pushing near 30, about 33 miles per hour. Right now they're between 10 and 20 miles per hour, and they're going to keep temperatures up there for a little bit as we continue through the rest of the evening. 83 by 8, 78 by midnight, and eventually we'll drop back into the upper 60s to about 71 for your Sunday morning. Not much happening here once again. I am watching our next frontal boundary up to the north, but it still has a little bit of time before it starts to make its approach on Wednesday, but we have to wait for this upper level ridge to break down. Fortunately with this, it's not packing a lot in terms of humidity, but as long as this is around, it'll keep us mainly dry, but it'll also keep temperatures above normal, mainly in the 90s. Let me show you what I mean with the future track forecast here. Nothing but clear skies as we go through the rest of the night as temperatures drop back into the upper 60s. I think Joplin will top out, or bottom out rather, around 71 degrees with the south breeze at 5 to 15. Throughout the course of the day, we'll have temperatures warming up no problem once again. We'll go 88 by noon, pushing afternoon highs to about 93 in Joplin. In fact, I think everybody's fair game to go lower 90s, between 90 and 93 for Sunday afternoon as we wrap up our weekend. Let's look down the road. Here's Monday, going into Tuesday, keeping things relatively quiet, but this will keep us in the upper 80s to lower 90s as the new work week and school week gets underway. But here comes the main feature in the long-range forecast. As the jet stream sets up on top of us for Wednesday, we'll see our next front roll on in. This is going to be our best shot for thunderstorms next week, next Wednesday. And as long as the developing upper level lows around for Thursday and Friday, I'm going to keep maybe a slight chance for a thunderstorm or two for Thursday and Friday afternoon before we start drying out as we head toward next weekend. So let's break down how that looks on the 7-day forecast. As long as we're dry for the next few days with the upper ridge in control, we'll go 93 tomorrow, 92 Monday, and 89 on Tuesday. Then as the rain chances pick up, Chris, we'll go 83 on Wednesday and mid to upper 80s Thursday and Friday. That'll feel nice before we head back into the mid-90s on Saturday.
We keep getting these little breaks, it seems. Every week or so, we get a little lull, we get a little dip in the temperatures, and then summer comes right back and says, hey, I'm not done with you yet.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be done by the end of the month because I'm ready for fall.
I am too. You know, I was telling you, the clouds behind your 7-day actually have me already ready for spring.
Yeah.
Because the air smells, fresher and it feels fresher, and I'm already ready for spring.
At least we're not dealing with that during a weekend. We like to keep things quiet as normal, and thankfully they'll stay quiet once again tomorrow.
Hey, I'm looking forward to quiet. Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, Pittsburgh State heads into their home opener against Nebraska Kearney, ranked 23rd in the country. Plus, Missouri Southern is searching for their first win of the season. Got those highlights next.
Missouri Southern Lions are at home this afternoon hosting the Northeastern State Riverhawks. For the Lions, today's game is their first home game since 2019 and their first home game under head coach Atiba Bradley. Both of these teams aiming for their first win of the season this afternoon. Lions defense strong in the first, Romel Reedus with the sack. Game is scoreless going to the second. Northeastern State strikes early in the second quarter. Mark Whelan hauls it in and gets it into the end zone. Southern down 7, but the Lions finish the half strong. Kayvon Reed gets the interception, brings it back to Riverhawks territory. Southern set up with good field position here, and it doesn't take them long to capitalize. Dawson Hurl floats it to Jeremy Brown. Brown gets in from 41 yards away. Lions take their first lead, 10-7. And then it's another big defensive stand for Southern. Nick Cruz blows the play up. Riverhawks punt it back to Missouri Southern. And this time, it would be Joplin product. Nathan Glades doing the work for the Lions. Glades busts through the middle, 29 yards to the house. Southern takes a 10-point lead to half. But Northeastern State dominates the second half. They come back and beat Southern 21-17. The Pittsburg State Gorillas also play their home opener tonight. The Gorillas will face Nebraska Kearney at 7 p.m., aiming for a 2-0 start to the year. Last week against Central Missouri, quarterback Max Sexton accounted for 5 touchdowns, throwing for 4 and rushing for another. Here's PSU head coach Brian Wright on his quarterback's performance and what he hopes to see from Sexton tonight in Game 2.
I think anytime the quarterback plays well, there's still going to be about 4 or 5 plays in the game where you say, hey, we could have made a better decision on this one or a quicker decision on this one. And he had a couple of those plays, but overall played really well. And you know, I think when he has the opportunity to step up in the pocket or get out of the pocket a little bit to make that decision just a little bit quicker to run or throw. And that's probably the biggest thing we've been working on.
We'll have highlights from Pitt State's game against Nebraska Kearney right here at 10. The NEO Golden Norsemen kick off their season on the road this afternoon. NEO opens up with a tough one facing number 8 ranked Trinity Valley. The Norsemen fall 27-10. NEO remains on the road next weekend, facing another tough ranked team, 5th ranked Kilgore. Now that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Tonight at 10, we'll have more on the first responders who took part in the stair climb in Parsons today. Plus, we're going to take you to the NEO campus where Ottawa County first responders took part in a similar climb, both remembering their fallen brothers. And we'll head to Pitt State for their 9/11 memorial. Got those stories and more tonight on the KOAM News at 10. We definitely, again, saw a beautiful day for all these memorials going on, and it looks like the beautiful weather is going to stick around, which is a good thing, even though I'm already ready for spring again.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got to get through the rest of fall and winter, I guess.
Yeah, and we got to wrap up the summer at some point.
That's true, too.
And it's still going to feel like summer, at least summer without the humidity as we wrap up the weekend tomorrow. Speaking of, looking at our future track forecast, you see how everybody drops back into the upper 60s to 71 first thing in the morning. And just a repeat of today all over again for tomorrow, but maybe a little bit cooler. Mostly sunny skies throughout the day. We'll go 88 by noon, then highs around 93. This time we'll keep the breeze at least a little bit lighter, south at 5 to 15 with some gusts trying to push near 20 miles per hour. Looking down the road, we'll stay quiet to start the new work week and school week out. We'll go 92 and mostly sunny for Monday, 89 with a little more cloud cover ahead of our approaching front on Tuesday. Our best shot for rain the coming week, Chris, will be on Wednesday, and looking at scattered storms, thankfully nothing too strong or severe at the very least. But we'll take those rain chances because not only do we need a little rain, that'll keep highs in the 80s as we go through the middle of the week.
Looking forward to that temperature drop and the rain chances. Yeah. Nick, thank you so much. That is our time for now. Remember, we're always on at KOAMNewsNow.com and with that KOAM News Now app, and we thank you for making us part of your night.